We are live testing, maybe. Okay, we're live. What's going on, YouTube? How y'all doing today? I gotta get my chat up, so give me just a quick second because why would I have everything working the minute that I hit the live button? All right. Looks like we are kicked off on the YouTube side. How you guys doing today? Hope you're having a good day overall. Let's make our YouTube chat a little bit bigger on our side. Okay, never mind. We're popping it out. Let me see. Do I have to hit the sign in to chat? We're going to leave it like that. All right, I think we had a couple people hanging out already. What is going on? We have a lot of fun bowling things to talk about today. Let me see. Why is it not showing that we're live? Okay, now it's showing that we're live. There we go. Beautiful. All right, we have a lot of fun bowling things to talk about today. We have Physix Blackout news. We have a couple bowling news articles that we posted over the last couple weeks that we can hit on. We have Q&A at all times. We try to hit every single question. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go live on TikTok on my computer for the first time. So I need to have my phone out because I have no idea if this is actually going to work. Holy cow. All right, I got to fix this up. Hey, Rhett, what's going on? Love the Optic logo, by the way. New bowling ball and Q&A is what we'll call it. Good enough. All right. That all looks good. Let's hit the go live button. Rhett, do you think the Physix Blackout and Absolute Power are in the same bag? Ooh, I have some stuff about the Absolute Power, by the way. TikTok, I think we are live right now. What's going on, guys? I think we are back on that side. So in my opinion, the Physix Blackout and the Absolute Power will be very, very different. The Physix Blackout is insanely strong. The Absolute Power was pretty weak. The Absolute Power was like a slightly sharper Physix, or phase 2. TikTok, what's going on? How you guys doing? Looks like we have a couple people joining. Anyone on TikTok, let me know if things look good, bad, or otherwise. I need to get chat open in a better window. Actually, could I do that right? Oh boy, why is TikTok making noise? Don't make noise on me. All right, but in general, yeah, that's where I would put it. I would say Physix Blackout is going to be really in that strong smooth / strong sharp section. The Absolute Power really falls closer to a medium a lot of the time. It's kind of like one of those edge cases. Steve, what's going on over on the what are you? Over on the TikTok. That's what it's called. All right. There we go. We have that live. Looks like everything is good. Perfect. I think we are good. No TikTok. I'm not joining the Delta Force campaign. All right, but TikTok, what's going on? We'll do our intro one more time. We are going to have a lot of fun bowling stuff to talk about today. First of all, let me know if everything looks good or bad. Otherwise, we have Physix Blackout news. We've had a lot of reviews coming out on it over the last couple of days, really past week almost. We have bowling Q&A, of course. We have a little bit of bowling news coming out, and then I have a couple discontinued bowling balls that I just became aware of, which I want you guys to know about. I'll have a video of it sometime soon. I want to get everything else figured out beforehand, but that's what I'm seeing right now. So I will let you guys know on that. Pete, oh, Buds, I think I said hi to you already, but what's going on, Buds? Pete, just snagged a Radical Guru OG on eBay. Oh, wow. That's a throwback. That is a massive, massive throwback. How do you think it should be laid out? 430 RPM, 18 mile an hour. I would lay it out like pretty versatile, like a 4.5-inch pin, probably I would honestly go I would go 50 degrees or a little bit more on the val angle just to keep it smooth. And then I'd go like a 40 maybe on the pin to PSA because that thing is very, very smooth and very, very early. That Guru had a massive core on it. All right, looks like we got TikTok chats coming through. Awesome. TikTok, let me know if things sound good or not. This is our first time actually streaming on a computer, which is crazy. So you can see kind of a different little layout to it. We've got a little subscriber goal icon. We're going to have stuff showing up there, I believe, if people follow. And YouTube, we haven't set up anything, unfortunately, for subscriptions. I'm still trying to figure that out. I want those to pop up somewhere on this massive screen because you guys can see more than TikTok can because of the horizontal. Hey, there we go. Like Braden just started following. Thank you, Braden. But yeah, that'll be some fun stuff coming in the future. We're slowly upgrading the channel little by little. We get to 10,000 follows on TikTok and 4,000 on YouTube, and then we just upgrade everything. Including, I have a gimbal now. I don't know where that went. That's going to be pretty fun for vlogging things. But Darian, is the Purple Hammer Solid a good ball? Purple Hammer Solid. Is that if that's the overseas one that was like 80 bucks over the weekend? I think it is. It's going to be a lot earlier and smoother than the regular Purple Hammer, so it's better for people that aren't as rev dominant. If you're not as rev dominant, it'll be pretty good. Hey, Ty King, what's going on? CJ, what ball did you throw your first 300 with? That was, oh no, what was it? It was a Deviate ball. It was the Deviate Purple Thug Corrupt, I believe. Was it that? Thug Corrupt. I think it was that purple and orange one. It was. The Deviate Thug Corrupt was my first 300 ball. At the time, that was kind of, I didn't really, all the bowling balls I had were all hand-me-downs, and my uncle was on Brunswick staff at the time. So he would just give me all the ones he didn't, well, a couple of them that he didn't like, which were always these insanely strong Deviate balls. I had like 3. I had a Thug Unruly, I had a Thug Corrupt. I believe there was a 4th Thug I had in there. The Thug series was not that good, in my opinion. They were early. But overall, yeah, that's what I got my first 300 with. That was at like age 19, maybe? Probably age 19. Hey, Bowling with Brent, what's going on? NOV Innovations is a good comparison. Is this a good comparison to the Strike and Anger? No, it actually isn't. The Physix Blackout is going to be a heck of a lot smoother and a heck of a lot earlier than both of those. James, what's going on? All right, let's see. We got a lot of people over on TikTok. Let's get through some comments. Chris, just got my Ebonite Emerge. Nice. That ball was really good. It just did not sell that well. Ty King, where else are you live? I am live right now on YouTube and on TikTok. So make sure to check me out on both of those. We have similar content on both, but we have our longer form content on YouTube and shorter form on TikTok. There's a little bit of overlap, but there are unique videos to each platform. Let's see. Sam, love your videos. Hey, thanks, man. Just rediscovered my Onyx vibe from back in the day. Ooh, that was a good vibe. That was one of the better vibes. There was a lot of vibes, though. Ian, what's going on? Isaac 24, less potential hook ball, Max Thrill or Rotogrip Hustle? Rotogrip Hustle will hook a lot less than a Max Thrill. Darian, how does the overseas Purple Hammer compare to the Evoke? They're going to be very different because the overseas hammer is a urethane ball, so it's going to hook earlier than the Evoke, but it's going to be a lot smoother and not be good from angle, where the Evoke is reactive, so it can play from different parts of the lane. I got to figure out my camera, so let me know if my hand gestures, because I like doing hand gestures way too much, is off camera at all, if I seem like I'm doing them. Let's see, Justin. How do you feel about the Summit Peak for Rev Dominant? It's going to be one of your stronger, probably your strongest pearl then, if you're Rev Dominant. That's going to be a much stronger pearl ball than what you probably generally would have. Jonas, your opinion on the Motive Ripcord? The Ripcords were not bad. They're weaker pearls. They were kind of smooth for being pearls in Motive fashion back when that original Ripcord came out. Good ball, though, otherwise. Pretty decent. A lot of people liked it. Steve, looking to replacement for the Optimum Idol. Recommendations. If you want a replacement already, I would go Phase 2 or Sublime Focus. Those will be the closest bowling balls to it. Gotta get rid of this weird general settings thing. TikTok, shut up. There we go. All right, we're good. We are good. All right, what else we've got going on? Everything always resets for me. Why you do this, chat? Why does this happen? All right, where'd it go? Let's see. We hit Steve up. Ian, shot my first 6 with a 650. Ooh, you shot a big 600 with a 650. Congrats, Ian. That is awesome. Nice job. Roberto, talking nostalgia, I think Ebonite needs to come back with the Envy series. I don't even know what that is. I've never heard of the Envy series. The Total Envy, the Complete Envy, and the Envy S. I have never heard of those bowling balls. How old are they? What year do we have? Are we seeing a year? No, that'd be way too easy. Those are some old-looking bowling balls, though. Very old-looking bowling balls. Jonas, Max Thrill Pearl is better hook than the M&M. Yes, it will hook more overall. It will definitely hook more. Dakota, why does SPI have so many different covers? So actually B7, HK22 is not an actual cover stock. It's an additive in the cover stock. So B7, the cover stocks are all over the place yet. They have basically a new one for each ball, similar to how Storm does. However, there's just HK22 in all of them, basically. So Storm and Brunswick do have a similar amount of cover stocks. They just have different additives that they sometimes advertise and sometimes don't. Let's see. Dylan, looking to replace my Black Widow pink. What do you think? There really isn't a good Black Widow pink replacement right now. You can find them for pretty cheap. Otherwise, the Black Friday sales this last week had a good amount of urethanes that had cores in them. But otherwise, there is no replacement right now. The Rattler NU might be your best bet, which isn't a perfect replacement, but it's going to be the best we have right now. Roberto, Tommy Jones dominated the PBA through those years. Yeah, that fits. I think, yeah, those were definitely his glory days. Those were definitely the Tommy Jones years when he was the hookingest guy on tour. Ed Marshall, I'm getting a Sublime Focus. Nice. Sublime Focus is really good, both dull and shiny. I have a friend who absolutely adores their Focus as a house shot ball when they shined it up, because shiny solid balls are generally really, really good on house shots. You can miss right and the ball still come back, and you can miss left and it still has enough in the oil, which is a really good sign. Let's see. I love Nat. I'm new to bowling, seriously, and just got an Arctic vibe on Black Friday, but I'm scared to ask. Oh, what are you scared to ask? No, ask away. That's a really good ball to pick up. Roberto, early 2000s, that fits. Crystal, thoughts on the Absolute Power? I think the Absolute Power is really good. It's a weaker asymmetrical ball, but it is actually a good benchmark for a lot of people. It's a good benchmark if you it's a good benchmark if you are somebody who is a little more speed dominant. It can be really good for that. Let's see. I gotta see. Oh, that's what that means. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at? Ed, I'm getting a Sublime Focus. What do you rate the ball? I really like the Sublime, like I mentioned, especially for house shots and for an earlier, smoother ball if you keep it dull. All right, and then we have Ian. I shot 221, 221, 214. Ooh, Radioactive, the newly discontinued and really cheap Radioactive. That's awesome. Nice games. Very consistent, too. That's a good 650. Usually people's first 600 is like, they have their high game ever of like 230, and then they go like 190 and then like 160 or something, or I don't know if the math added up there, but they do something where it just doesn't really, they have one super high game. So being consistent is awesome. Nice job. Nice job. Six String Demon, thought on Harsh Reality Pearl. My girlfriend got me one for my birthday. Hey, that's a fantastic girlfriend. Great pickup on her part, because the Harsh Reality Pearl is really good for being a strong and smooth ball. Being a very, very strong and sharp ball. My bad. It is one of the earliest Pearl balls on the market, so it's going to be good for house shots, especially if you're speed dominant or getting a little further left. All right. We'll get through a couple more, and then we will jump over back to YouTube. We have a couple comments over there. Let's see. Christian, how do I drill my attention star? Looking for something that can get down lane with a lot of back end. So if you want a lot of back end, I would go something like, we're doing dual angle. We'll go like 50 degrees for the first angle, go 4.75 for the second angle, 4 3/4 inches or 5 inches if you're a little more rev dominant, and then go like 30 degrees for the val angle. That'll really get it to have some back end. Really get some back end on that guy. Ian at 1,000 too. That's a good play. I like that. I love urethanes. Do others have a legit complaint about urethane? Yeah, urethane usually messes up the lanes pretty bad in terms of transition of oil. It usually makes the pattern longer, stretches it out further, and generally makes it harder. Nat, how do I know how angled to throw the ball, if that makes sense? A lot of guess and testing, Nat. So it's going to be a lot of starting off of just practicing and seeing what your ball does, and then moving left or right based on that. So you use the boards on the lane. So all the lanes, they look like they're wood, but that's because every board is exactly 1 inch in width. So you use those to count where you are, and then move left or right, and just see where it goes. All right. Ed, we will get to you next in just a second. I am not, unfortunately, live on Twitch. That might be something I do in the future, though. We will see. We will see. But let's go over to the YouTubes quick, and then all that reset. Okay, there we go. Bowling with Brent, Sublime Focus is so good. Oh, yeah, it is. It is a very good ball, and unfortunately, I think it's going to be forgotten about. I hope not, but it might. Jim Ward, I have an X2. Is it similar to the Attention Star 2? It is not, actually. The RSTX2 is actually a weaker Pearl cover stock. The Attention Star S2 has a weaker hybrid cover stock, not as weak as the X2 though. So the Attention Star S2 is going to be a bit earlier and smoother than the X2. Michael, just wanted to say thank you for taking the time out. When you do lives, really answer people's questions. You really appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. Yeah, unfortunately, there aren't many people online for bowling who actually answer questions when people ask them in comments, which is a little unfortunate, even some of the bigger guys. So that's what we're here for, to answer those questions. Let's see. Brandon S. I just picked up the Overseas Hustler Urethane. I'm curious on that Hustler. I know a lot of people like it as a bigger urethane, but if you're speed dominant, that is going to be a better urethane for you than probably a purple hammer, which is I think a good thing. Jim. Also, I have a clone, but I took the gloss off. Can you use polish to make it react like out of the box? Yes, absolutely. You can always recreate out of the box finish to a certain degree. You can't make it perfect, of course, but you can get very, very close. CH, where does the origin fit? I had a pro shop tell me it's between the Ion Pro and the Optimum Idol Pearl. No, not even close. Sorry. But I was on, yeah, it is. You are right, CH. It is much stronger than those two bowling balls. It is well above the Optimum Idol Pearl. It is really closer to an Attention Star S2 in terms of strength, but sharper. So it's going to be close to that range. So if we use our scales, I have the Ion Pro as a weak smooth. I have the Optimum Idol Pearl as a medium sharp. I have the Origin as a very strong sharp ball. Let's see, Brent. I didn't see you say S2. My bad. Nah, you're good, Brent. Don't worry. Zool, I'm speed dominant. Which hammer solid and pearl would be suitable for you? So you would really like a Black Widow 3.0, and then you would probably like the Effect. I think the Effect would be a good ball for you. Let's see. Bowling with Brent, X2 is closer to the original Attention Star. Yes, you are correct, but the X2 is still cleaner and sharper. Yeah, hopefully that helps, Zool. Goots, I'd be buying bowling balls every week and still shoot 560. Yeah, new bowling balls are fun, always. ENQ, best top 3 balls for dry lanes. Dry lanes, you could go Ivory Rhino Pro is going to be really good. That's the new white Rhino. You could go Hustle M&M is going to be great. And then, honestly, a Hammer Raw will be another good one. All right, let's catch back up. We have a lot of TikTok chats to get through. We are way behind. Apologies, guys. Make sure to stick around. I will hit your comment. I always go 100% on hitting comments. But quick reminder, make sure to drop a follow if you haven't on both platforms, on YouTube or TikTok, and then make sure to drop a like too. It helps us out a ton. We're already at 1,500 likes on TikTok, and we're at 4 likes on YouTube. So YouTube, go hit that like button. Helps me out a ton, helps promote the stream a little bit more to other bowlers. But let's get back into it. Scott Mitchell, you need help with an arsenal. You have a phase 2, you have a proton physics, and a hustle BRY. What should you add? You're a two-hander who's speed dominant. I think you need a stronger shiny ball. An Attention Star might look really good for you. Your other option would be something like a phase AI. I think those would fit well. 6-string demon, thank you for the follow. Caden, thoughts on the Road Warrior? The Road Warrior is a really good ball. It is basically a High Road Pearl replacement, but it is stronger. Similar back end motion, but a little bit stronger than the original High Road Pearl. And the High Road Pearl is one of the better Pearl balls that Storm's ever made. Let's see. CN Hampton, speed dominant, Ocean Vibe, and Black Venom. Need a first game ball, straighter. You're going to want something a bit stronger. You're going to want something above the Black Venom, something like a, what would be a good one from those guys? The Black Venom is honestly a pretty good one. Pride Dynasty, if that's still an option right now from what I'm aware of. So that would be a good choice over on the Motive side. On the Hammer side, a Hazmat Solid would be very good. And then on the Storm side, you could go with a Sublime Focus or an Optimum Idol if you want to play straighter. All right, Nat. So I have an Arctic Vibe. Should I get a spare ball next? You're two-handed and you don't know how to throw it straight two-handed. So a plastic ball will help you throw it straighter. But if you are two-handed, you're going to have to try to kill the rotations a little bit. But that is something I would recommend getting used to your Arctic Vibe first for a while and then go and get that plastic ball. Plastic balls will always be usable, so it's always a good choice. Jonas, opinion on the Venom Shock. Picking one up to make my benchmark with my Crimson Jacqueline plastic. Fantastic choice, Jonas. That's one of the best choices to make. The Venom Shock is incredible. Kincaid, what is pitch and PAP? Yes, so we'll do a quick bowling pitches FYI or section. Welcome to class. Glad to have you all here. I don't have anything. We're going to use a can of, no, we're not going to use that. SpongeBob tumbler. We're using a SpongeBob tumbler for this. So The pitch of a bowling ball represents the angle that the holes were drilled into the ball. So we have this nice, lovely SpongeBob tumbler. So if we have 0 pitch, our fingers go directly straight down into the ball. Right, it is directly in the middle. Don't mind my, I have a little bit of a blister on one finger. Don't worry about that. But the more reverse pitch, the more pitch we add, or reverse pitch here, the more our fingers are going away from that core. And if we go forward pitch, the more our fingers point towards that core. Same with thumb, more forward or more back. What it does is that really helps make your hand comfortable. So if you have blisters, your pitches are probably wrong. So pitches are custom to the person. Most people will have reverse pitches on their fingers because nobody's fingers make a 90-degree angle when you have them stretched out, usually, unless you're very double jointed. So that's what pitches are. PAP, positive access point, is the point of the ball that doesn't spin when you throw it. So like, if I threw this SpongeBob tumbler, right, and it's spinning this way, the PAP is this point because that no matter how much I spin it, that is not moving. So that is basically your fingerprint as a bowler. So there you go. Class is over. If you guys have any questions, please drop them. But hope you guys enjoyed that. Eric, thank you for the follow. Kaysen, going with Scott. Sigmund Freud is here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Welcome back from the grave, buddy. I'm a no thumb one-hander and I want to switch to two-hand. How can I get better at that? I would recommend watching a lot of tutorials online. There's some great two-hand tutorials. Anthony Simonson has an awesome one of his 2 videos that he ever made because he wanted to be a YouTuber for a minute and then never did it again. But he would be a fantastic one to check out. You'll be having a little more back tilt or spine tilt. So you'll be bent over a little bit more to keep that second hand on it. All right, we have Tony up next, but let's go check out the YouTube quick. We have a lot going on over there. Let's see. Brent, we hit. Jim, the Total Envy and the Complete Envy were made by Ebonite. They were great balls. I've never heard of them. That's wild. Bowling Fool, looking to get Ebonite for the first game, the 1 reverb or real time. I would go the 1 reverb if you're going for game 1. The real time is going to be a little too weak for you. Let's see. Adam, late to the stream. Love the Infinite. How does the Blackout compare? Yes. The Blackout compared to the Infinite for Physix, for the Physix line, the Blackout is going to be a little bit earlier, but it's going to be smoother and overall just more hook. The Infinite Physix gets further down lane, should be a little bit sharper. Now, the degree or the amount of hook down lane isn't as different as you'd think. In general, though, the Blackout is just going to be earlier. They are going to be fairly similar, though. So if you have an Infinite, I don't think you need a Blackout. Zool, what if the lane burnt out? Which hammer ball is suitable to use for speed dominant on the dry lanes? I would go with a Scorpion Strike, Zool. Hey, Tigos, what's going on? And Skibbity. There it is. There it is. Oh, that's a throwback to a past stream. Love it. Ed, I'm 13 years old. I shot 290 and 730. That is awesome. Nice job. Jorge, I saw the Ryan Barnes video on the Physix Blackout and he just kept splitting. It concerned me a bit, but other YouTubers made it look good. Yeah, so I think that's too much ball for somebody with as high of a rev rate as Ryan. I think people with lower rev rates are going to like the Physix Blackout much better. And in general, the rev dominant guys never liked the Physix line because the core is so strong. That core is massive. That core is super big. So I would avoid it if you're very rev dominant. James, oh yes, Mark Baker has a great two-handed video also. It is incredible. Really, really good. And Jaybird, what's going on? Late to the stream, how it's going? It's going good. It's going good, Jaybird. We are enjoying things. We are streaming on TikTok through the computer for the first time after I did some shenanigans to get the computer to work. But we are good. We are thriving right now. And Jim, is the No Doubt similar to the 900 Global Zen? Yes, very, very similar. The No Doubt is a little bit smoother in my opinion. All right, let's jump back over to the YouTube, TikTok side. We have a lot of comments to get through. You guys are flying on comments. I promise I'll hit all of them. Tony, how should I throw a stronger, smoother cover ball? You're going to want to play a little straighter with that stuff, Tony. Dean, is a Sublime Focus similar to the Zen Master? It is, but it's just better. It is better at angles. The Zen Master didn't like angle very much. The Focus does. Eric, Black Widow 3.0, Attention Star, and Vibo is your arsenal. That's a great arsenal. I would recommend a symmetrical ball next. So it looks like you use any company. So a Scorpion Low Flare or a Phase 2 or a Summit Ascent would be a good ball to go next, a medium and smooth piece. Ian, it's funny, one lane is uphill and one is down on the other. What? One lane is uphill and is downhill on the other. Is that, I'm guessing you mean topography, which would be crazy. Yeah, every lane has different topography, which is wild. Let's see. Tactic Taco. I use the hammer axe as my primary. I'm a no-thumb two-handed bowler looking for more back end. You are definitely going to want a reactive ball. You're going to want to go to like the vibe series. So like an ocean vibe or an Arctic vibe. Mamu Helmet Garage. What is the difference between the Ion Max and the Hammer Effect? Yes, so the Ion Max is going to be much earlier and it's going to be smoother. So the Ion Max is much better for sorry, I just saw somebody say that we're frozen. Are we? I think we're good. Let me know if we're frozen over on the YouTube side. Hopefully not. Or Jorge just really likes the movie Frozen or that. Let's see, where was that? So the Ion Max is going to be smoother and like oil more. It'll like more oil, and that'll help you control the pocket better, where the effect is going to be much sharper down lane. And Dean, thank you for the follow. Kaysen, the Phase AI, yep. Oh, you're hanging out. You and Scott are talking. Awesome. Zool, my arsenal currently has Ion Max Phase 2, Ion Pro, IQ Ruby, 78. How's that for most conditions? I really like it. I think the one thing you're missing is a stronger Pearl Ball. So you're missing, oh, perfect. Thanks, James and Bowling Fool. Appreciate it. We are good on the YouTube side. So you're missing like an Attention Star or an Optimum Idol Pearl or something with that. Bowling with Brent. That's an awesome comment. He can let it go with that comment. I'm not frozen. Oh, cue the Frozen comp. Few of the Frozen references. I love it. Tony, how does a strong and smooth ball perform on 43 feet? That is going to be a really good spot for a strong and smooth ball. That'll be a longer pattern, so absolutely. Let's see. Jaden, Tropical Surge Midnight, Exotic Gem, Ion Max, Reality, Purple Hammer, Pitch Black, Eternity Pie, Nova, and Absolute Power. Whoa, that's an arsenal. A lot of smooth balls. Very much smooth balls. Kaysen, you have a Phase 2, a Magic Gem, Phase AI, Sublime, NU Hammer. Where will the Venom Shock fit? The Venom Shock is going to fit below the Phase 2 for you and above the new Hammer. That's where that one will fit best. Let's see. 60 feet to success. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? And AI generated sounds. I'm two-handed, currently using power lift grips. Wanting to switch from Vice Oval. Is that reasonable? I would not use lifts if you're a two-hander. I would recommend to avoid lifts and just go to ovals. Polly, I have a hammer strike. I'm guessing Scorpion Strike. Can't get it to hook from third, fourth arrow. Speed dominant one-handed. The condition needs to be right to be able to hook it from that deep. You might have to slow your speed down, add more side roll could be another option, or you're just trying to do that a little too early when the conditions aren't correct. Professor Banger, how strong is a Radical Hitter and Hitter Pearl? They're asymmetrical, so they're strong, but they're not going to be the strongest ASIMs in your bag. They're going to be a little bit weaker. It's going to be weaker than like an Effect Tour. It's going to be weaker than things like Black Widow 3.0, things like that. It's on the mild asymmetry side. Brady, rip the DNA coil. Yes, the DNA coil is gone. It is gonzo, which is sad. Russ, how do I determine hand and pin position? So two different things. Hand position is the way you release the ball. Pin position is where where the pin is relative to your grip. So what you need to do there is you can watch our dual angle system video or other dual angle system videos, and then you'll go in reverse. It's finding your layout on a ball. Yeah, and PSO should be able to help you with all of that too. Shalumbish, what should my next ball be? You have a new blue, a raw hammer, and a Black Widow, and the Black Widow Venom. I would go with something stronger, maybe a little shinier, like a Scorpion Strike or a Beyond Infinity could be pretty good. Something asymmetric or stronger symmetric and shinier Pearl. And H Stut. I'm a no-thumb one-handed bowler looking for a stronger late ball. You currently throw a Crimson Jackal. You want it to be stronger than that. I would take a little bit of a step down and go like Primal Rage Evolution. That'll be sharper on the back end, but it's going to hook later. Schlumbish, something more reactive. That'll be a little more reactive for you, Schlumbish. And that bowling guy, Physix Blackout is really good. You have one already? What do you think of it if you do? Give us a quick mini review for however many characters you get in TikTok chat. While you do that, I'm going to jump over to the YouTube side. Let's see. Yes, Zool, Scorpion Strike for the dry lane. Jim Ward, great show. Bowling Fool, would an Origin be a good first game ball? It is. It might be a little sharp sometimes for a first game ball, but overall it'll be really good, Bowling Fool. Hey, Yofo, what's going on? Rev Challenge, all good on the YouTube side. Perfect, thank you. Ryan, do you have any suggestions for learning to read ball motion better? Any videos or channels that you know of? Like most noobs, I have a hard time identifying a ball burning up and rolling out, as we all do, Ryan. That is one of the toughest things with bowling, is to see where your ball hooks and if it's hooking too early or too late. So there aren't really many videos showcasing or being able to see where your ball hooks per se. So it is a lot of guess and test is one of the tougher things. So if you're throwing, one way to figure it out is if you don't think your ball's hooking, switch over to a super weak pearl ball in the same spot and throw it. If that hooks more, that showcases that your ball was indeed burning up. So that's a good way to learn it. Otherwise, just being able to try to be mindful of watching like what your ball is doing at all times when you're in different parts of the lane to be able to read it. It is very much a learning experience, which is tough. And let's see, Trung, switching to 14 pounds. I have an S2 now. What should I add for a 3-ball arsenal? I would go with something shiny, maybe the original Attention Star or a Phase AI for the second ball, and then I'd go something weaker like a Summit Ascent or an Ion Pro for the third ball. And Rev Challenge, love your Ion Max on League. Would a Sub-Zero be a good step down? I think it's not going to be the best step down. It's going to be similar in hook potential. So I would go with something even weaker than that, because the Ion Max and the Sub-Zero Forge are both very, very strong. All right, let's jump back to TikTok. We are doing pretty good at catching back up on chat. We're almost there. And then we're going to talk about the Physix Blackout a little bit and what I know about it. Zach C, the OG Purple Beast, that's pretty much cooked and just bought a Motive Venom Shock. You need a third. I would go something shiny. You could go like that new Primal Rage if you want something a little more expensive. That's a pearl. If you want to stick with Motive, otherwise Scorpion Strike is similar reaction, just much cheaper. Let's see. H Stud, thank you for the follow. Derek, I'm a no-thumb bowler, just drilled the new Heckler. Any advice on throwing it? I would just test it out. It's going to be pretty smooth for you, but it's going to be fairly strong, so be ready for that. Let's see. Shane, thank you for the follow. 60 feet. What are your opinions on Storm naming everything Blackout? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm a fan if they have different logo colors. So my biggest fret with the Physix Blackout, minus the pineapple smell, and by the way, that pineapple smell is absurdly strong. We got ours at the pro shop on Tuesday. Oh my God, is that thing strong. It is like a pineapple is punching you in the face when you take it out of the box. It is crazy. But my one fret is the Physix Blackout logo colors are the exact same as the Vibo. So they're impossible to tell apart unless you go up to it. And yes, the Physix Blackout is dull and the Vibo is shiny, but you want the ball to stand out on its own. I love a Blackout series idea. Blackout and Whiteout series are always great choices. However, we just had a Whiteout series go live on our merch store for hoodies. Go check that out. But if they would have given it different color, like different logo colors, like the Lightning Blackout had yellow colors on it, had yellow logos. Awesome. Easy to tell apart. Physix Blackout is the same as the Vibo. I hate that. That's my one concern. Otherwise, great idea. I like the idea of having like a blackout line like that. Chris Steele, out of the bag, 3.0, 2.0 hybrid, NU. Also have a Black Widow Dark Knight. I don't know what that is. And the Black Widow Urethane. What could I add? That is a lot of widows. I would go something symmetrical then to not be a widow. If you like the look of a widow though, go with the Scorpion series because that is based on that Black Widow core. So Scorpion Low Flare, or that's a weird text. Scorpion Low Flare or Scorpion Strike are going to be your best options. Kaysen, do you work at a pro shop? I do. I do work at a pro shop, Champions Pro Shop in Owatonna and Mankato, Minnesota. Come check us out. We have a lovely staff and a lovely group of people that are all very, very knowledgeable. J. Roy, any thoughts on the Magic Gem? The Magic Gem was good, but it's one of the strongest bowling balls on the market and still is, even though it's off the market now. Very, very strong and smooth. 60 feet. Me and Zach should open up a pro shop. I'm in. Yeah, let's go. Uncle Sal, hey, what's going on, man? I love the channel. Perfect. Thank you, thank you. Love having you here. You've been here for a while, Sal. I think we've had DMs too, right? Pretty sure. But thank you for hanging out so long. Appreciate it. Tatum, I picked up an XL. Ball is crazy strong. You love it. Hey, love to hear that. J. Roy, thank you for the follow. Waniac, hey, Waniac, what's going on? Ball's really strong. Oh, yeah. Ashley, Ion Max or Black Widow 3.0? If you want more, the most hook you can, go with an Ion Max. If you don't, go with a Widow 3.0. Main event, opinions on the Phase 2, best ball ever made. I will die on that hill. It is the greatest ball ever created. Chris Sherwood, what's a recommendation on a ball to control crazy back ends? So you're going to want something like something with lower differential, something like an IQ Tour, an IQ Tour Ruby, even an Ocean Vibe could be really good at that. Things in that realm would be best. Austin Wells, my arsenal is Jackal Ghost, Nuclear Forge, Trident Odyssey, OG Venom Shock, and a Fatal Venom. It's a really good motive arsenal. That Trident Odyssey was low-key a really good ball. D-Zooms, throw a Tropical Surge at the moment, looking to upgrade for something with more movement. What do you think? Yeah, I 100% agree. Tropical Surges are generally an entry-level bowling ball, so I would go up to either, if you want to go just a small step up, go with the Hustles. If you want a bigger step up, go to... Man, Storm doesn't have anything in that weak and sharp category right now. What would be best? Summit Ascent would be a good ball to go up to. Let's see. Jaden, Pitch Black, Purple Hammer, IQ Tour, Absolute Power, High Road Pearl, Ion Max, Magic Gem, OG Phase. That's all. And more. Reality, Phase AI, Eternity Pie, Exotic Gem, Crux Prime, and Nova. Oh my God. You have everything covered. That's for sure. OG Phase in there is kind of wild, by the way, Jane. That's kind of crazy. Kaysen, no way, that's cool. I've been there a couple times. Oh, but you've met Briley? Perfect. Yeah, he is one of the best pro shop guys, definitely in the Midwest. You could argue in the nation. I can't make that claim, but awesome. That's great to hear. Yeah, go keep bothering him. He enjoys being bothered. Also tell him that Zach said you need to bother him too. Sheldon, we have a Hammer Effect, a Hazmat, an Ocean Vibe, an OG High Road. What do you think I'm missing for Speed Dominant? So right now you are missing a lot of solid bowling balls. So a Hazmat Solid would actually be really good for your arsenal, Sheldon. 60 feet, opinions on Bolero changing names. Yeah, so for anybody who's been hanging out in the channel, I had a video go up on Tuesday, so only yesterday, about Bolero changing their name to Lucky Strikes Entertainment. And I won't get into like, is that the opinions on Bolero or anything, but rebranding is always a good thing, especially Boleros. I know they didn't have the best looks inside of a lot of their buildings, so rebranding, going more towards entertainment, making their brand bigger is what all businesses want to do. Of course, you want to branch out to other things so you can make more money, but that means you can put people in charge of different areas, which is a good sign. So you can put bowlers in charge of the bowling, which I think would be really cool. So do I think it's good? Yeah, in general, it's a bowling business is still growing, which is a great sign. That's a great sign for the sport. But I will avoid any negative comments on Bolero because I cannot speak much in that realm. And the video is on YouTube and TikTok. If you want to see what people think of Bolero, just go read the comments. Yeah, they're not the most positive things in the world. Hey, 1500 grit. Thank you for sharing the Bolero news. Yeah, absolutely. I heard about it and knew I had to make a video as soon as possible. And I don't think anyone else has actually covered it, which is wild. Like, the news has been out for like 2 days. It even made it, not Wall Street Journal, Washington Post was the first ones I saw about, or Wall Street Journal. It might have been Wall Street Journal. One of them posted about it, and like no one else in bowling has covered it, which is crazy. Waniac Original The One is a top 5 ball of all time. Whoa, that's an old ball. That one a lot of people liked. Also, drink of the day is going to be Mountain Dew Game Fuel Citrus Blackberry. That's half gone because I drank a little bit a couple of days ago, and it's a lot of sugar for my old person teeth. I used to be able to drink pop like crazy and just not anymore, which is kind of sad. All right, D-Zooms, thank you for the follow. We're going to jump back over to YouTube. We got a lot of comments over there. Let's see. David Price, Bowling League right now. The new Venom Shack I have is the nuts. Thank you for the suggestion. Oh, absolutely, David. Glad it worked well for you. It is one of the best balls ever. James, Luke has a video that tries to show it, but even he says it's hard to see. It is one of the toughest things to teach in bowling because it's all invisible, really. You can only tell by feel, by experience, and by throwing different bowling balls. You're going to get a lot of guesses wrong where you think, oh, maybe my ball's burning up, and it's actually not. I did that this last Sunday. I thought my ball was burning up. It wasn't at all. I was just throwing it too fast. Jorge, you have an Ion Max, an Optimum Idol, and a Tropical Surge. Any recommendations for a new ball? Yes, I would go something shinier but stronger. So Optimum Idol Pearl or Phase AI or even Attention Star would be really good. I would personally recommend Attention Star. It's one of the best balls of the year. Let's see, Jaybird, can you give a suggestion on my Sublime Focus? You're leading a lot of splits, and I feel like it's burning up or just ticking too hard. I would recommend putting some polish on it. I would recommend bringing up the surface, put polish on it. I think you'll like it a lot more, especially with that very consistent 4.5 by 4.5 on it. Knife to Meet You, one of the best names on the channel. Blackout colors. You can get acrylic markers and color your logo. You could. That is an option if you want to do that because they are white logos, so not a terrible choice. Hey, what's going on, Stephanie? Lewis, what do you think about the IQ Tour and the Ruby? Thinking about the Physix Blackout and need something for the dry. 16 miles an hour, 310 revs, 9-degree tilt. Is this a good setup? You have a big gap between your Physix Blackout and your IQs, so you're going to need something in between at some point in there, but overall, I think that's a good start. Jim, what were your thoughts on the Deviate Decree ball when it was out? A friend of mine has one for sale. Let me look that one up again just so I don't mess up what it was. So okay, it is. It's that pink one. Yeah, the Decree, because there was a Decree Pearl too. This one was weaker, right? Deviate, why don't you put your info just on your website like a normal company? 250043. Oh yeah, this one was weaker. Oh, this one was actually, yeah, pretty recent. I think the Decree was a good, just middle of the road, medium and smooth ball. So I think it was fine. It wasn't anything crazy, but if it's cheap, I'd recommend grabbing it. Playful Movement. Hey, what's going on? Man, I throw 14 pounds. How much do the altered numbers change ball motion? Some of the scent is identical, but the S2 is a little bit different. Is it noticeable? Yes, it will definitely be noticeable that the core is that different. That's what the AI technology is trying to do, and I don't think the S2 is that different, if I remember right. The S2 should be pretty much identical because that also has AI in it. All right. That is so good. There's no blackberry drinks. There need to be more. Bring back blackberry drinks. Blackberry and more blueberry, please. I am a blueberry, just absolute simp. Adore anything blueberry. Bowling Prodigy. Finally got the low flare to finish off your arsenal. Nice. What do you think of it so far? Hey, Balrog, Phase 2 or Ion Pro for middle of the bag? I would go, looking at your other stuff, I would go Phase 2. Ion Pro, I'm still very wishy-washy on. Stephanie, ball motion is my struggle, when to switch balls or when to move, and it's all guess and test, and it's all just based on experience. The more experience you get, the better, Stephanie. And Rev Challenge, I've seen most of the staffer videos on the Blackout. To my eye, it looks like it burns up and seems very over-under. No, you're definitely seeing it right. It is going to be one of the strongest balls on the market because the core is so strong and it has that NEX Pearl cover, which is the strongest Pearl cover on the market. And it's dull. Like, it's gonna burn up on a lot of lanes right now. I think it'd be best polished. That's me personally. Chris Barnes's video on it said otherwise. I think it would be better polished though, because I thought the Infinite Physix was too much ball a lot of the time until I polished it up. So that's my opinion on it. Of course, it's not out yet, so we can't judge it completely, but that's what I see also, especially from these higher rev guys. Jaybird, will I still be able to use the Sublime Focus for game 1 with polish on it? I think you can. And what polish? I would go Power Edge. Power Edge or the Brunswick polish is fine. But I think it'll still be okay. Maybe otherwise your other option is to go in the middle and go to 3000 grit. It's not quite polished, but it's not quite dull. All right, let's jump back over to the YouTube side. Man, every time I go, to the TikTok side, every time I go away from the TikTok side, there's 1,000 more comments. You guys are going ham on comments today. We are getting a lot of people to hang out in here, so thank you everybody who's jumping in on both channels, on the YouTube and the TikTok. We've been averaging like 40 viewers on YouTube, and we're averaging a lot on TikTok also. So thank you guys so much. But let's jump back in. We were at... Oh, Jaden, what 5 should I pick? Oh, for junior gold, you have a lot of time, Jaden. I think because you have so many, it's going to be what you find best at the time. So try to throw as many as you can on as many different arsenals and see what you like best. A lot of bowling is about confidence in a bowling ball. And if you don't have confidence in it, you don't want to bring it. So I would recommend just getting a lot of experience on a lot of them and then just seeing where it is. Also, always bring a purple hammer. That too. Let's see, Sheldon, that's what I meant. Sorry, I forgot to put the solid. No, all good. Chris Sherwood, my loadout is Arsenal S2, Summit Ascent, Pure Envy, No Doubt, Purple Hammer, Stealth Hybrid. That's a very well-rounded arsenal, Chris. Nice job. Wayne, you have an Ion Max and a High Road Pearl. What would be a good ball to fit in? You have a lot of options to fit in between. I would go Summit Ascent or a Phase AI would fit in between really well. Scotty P, you have an Anger, an Extreme Envy, a Scorpion, and an AI. Anger, Extreme Envy, Scorpion. I like that. You have a couple, 2 shiny balls, 2 solid ball. Good options. Wayne, you have an Ion Max. Yep, we hit that. Justin, I'm looking for a ball that is smooth and doesn't hook a ton. Smooth and doesn't hook a ton. The IQ Tour might be your best bet. IQ Tour or a Hustle X-Ray. Max, you have a Wreckham and a Rocket Ship. Wow, those are old bowling balls. Whatever, and those are weaker ones. So if you want to go a little stronger, go with like an Optimum Idol Pearl, go with an Attention Star or a Phase AI. Scotty and a Hazmat. That was with, okay, so you have, yeah, even three shiny balls. Nice. 1500 grit, you're the first one that I know of. Or oh yeah, it's so crazy. I'm glad I was able to get that to you guys as soon as possible. It's just still weird to me. I just thought more people would post about it. But that's why we have the bowling news portion of the channel. So we will be posting any more bowling news that comes out, especially when tour starts. We're going to be going hard on bowling news. I am planning because I am making, for transparency, I am making money on YouTube and TikTok now. TikTok actually just started a couple days ago. So I'm going to be dumping that into a Bowl TV membership. And I'm going to be getting you guys as much PBA news as I possibly can. So every time there's a tournament, I want to tell you guys what I thought of it, who won, who lost, what bowling balls look good, what bowling balls look bad, things like that. So that's going to also be coming in the bowling news videos coming soon. I think the tour starts in like 3 weeks, I think, or 4 weeks. Let's see. Chris, my all-time favorite ball is the Gold IQ. Hey, I have a cracked one behind me right now. That ball was awesome. All the shiny IQs are great. I need to get another Ruby or find another Emerald. Wayne, you have an Ion Max and a High Road Pearl. What would be a good ball to fit in? We hit that one. 60 feet. The Attention Star, the Hitter Pearl, signed ball down. Yeah, so Attention Star, we hit Hitter Pearl if you want a different brand. Absolutely. 60 feet knows his stuff. Also, thank you guys, everybody who's answering comments for me. Of course, we got a lot of people putting a lot of comments, so thank you guys, anyone jumping in and helping out by answering a couple for me. Appreciate that. If there's anything that I don't agree with that you say, I'll definitely mention it, but otherwise you guys are doing great. Manny, thank you for the follow. Arctic Vibe and a Kaboom. Any options for a third ball? I'd go a little stronger than a Kaboom. I'd go like if you want to go really strong, you could go Hazmat Solid or GB5, Game Breaker 5. Let's see, I have a Venom Shock. Should I get an Extreme Envy? If you want a lot of hook, if you need more hook than the Venom Shock, then absolutely the Extreme Envy is great. Is there an upcoming top 5 strong and sharp video, Zool? Yes, tomorrow at noon on YouTube. And then after this, I need to edit the TikTok one. So I'll have that up tomorrow also. Cody Miner going on a Phantom 2 pattern for high school. What is the Phantom 2 pattern? Phantom 2 oil pattern. That is an actual thing. Michigan high school. All right. It is 40 feet, 1 to 4. That's not easy. Huh. That is not an easy pattern, my dude. Let me see. There you are. Going on Phantom 2. What should you be throwing? It's shorter. That makes it tough. Your break point's going to have to be right, but I'd go with something smoother. Whatever you have for stronger bowling balls will be really good because there is a lot of oil too at 28 mils. But a 4-4, 2-2, or 2-2, there's 4 loads. Urethane, if you have it, is going to look good. That's actually a tough pattern. Huh, that one's not going to be easy, Cody. But yeah, smoother equipment will be best. Wayne, I throw about 18 to 19 and need a dry lane ball. You said you have the High Road Pearl. If the High Road Pearl is still too much, go with like a Hustle M&M or an Ivory Rhino Pro. Max, I have a Recum. Yep, we hit yours. 60 feet. If I get the Blackout, I'm polishing it. I would recommend that. But I already have a Crystal Physix, so it's hard to convince me. Which one is the Crystal Physix? Storm Crystal Physix. That thing is gorgeous. Okay, cool. That ball's beautiful. Looks like a Crux Prime. Yeah, you don't need the Physix Blackout. You are very much correct on that one. 60 feet. Absolutely. He recommended weaker stuff than I thought he would, Wayne. Pretty close, though. Best bowling ball in the market right now from Clunan for Storm and Roto. Phase 2 is always on there. I think the Optimum Idol Pearl's good. Otherwise, the Attention Star is probably number 1. Max, thank you. I'll look into 2 of them. I forgot the third recommendation. Yeah, check out the 2 because I already did 2. All right, we'll get to Zach in just a second. Zach Crown. But let's go over to YouTube side. Let's see. Jaybird, we hit Bowling with Brent. Thank you for the answer. Bowling Prodigy. I haven't gotten to throw it. The pro shops I am using had to order and I need to get up there and grab it. Oh, okay, sounds good. Yeah, it's a busy time for pro shops right now. Very busy time. Let's see. Manny, we hit you on the TikTok side. Surfboard Shack. Can I have an Ion Pro and a Venom Shock and a 5-ball League Arsenal? I think so. Yeah, they're going to be different enough that you'll be good. Playful. Clarification. Are you saying that AI makes the ball react the same? No, really. The AI is supposed to make the 14, 15, and 16 pound numbers the same. Let's go to Storm's website quick. What are we looking at? The Attention Star S2. There it is. Are they actually different? Oh my God, are they? There's no way this has AI? Storm, what are you doing? That's not even close. What? Huh. Does the OG Attention Star have that big of a difference? Huh. Damn, you're right. My bad, Playful. No, you're 100% right. Usually the AI bowling balls have the exact same numbers for 16, 15, and 14, but you're 100% right. They don't. Okay, so going back to your original question, how much do the altered? Yeah, so that'll change it a lot. The 14-pound version will be much, much weaker than the 15-pound version. Dang, that sucks. Storm, that is some bad advertising, man. Dang it. Stephanie, I have 9 balls, but I use my Zen Soul 95% of the time. What is a ball that is similar to the Soul? Ooh, that's a good question. Sublime Focus is going to be pretty close. It's going to be the closest ball in the market right now. And then Caucasian Jeff, I have a tournament this weekend on Sunday and we find out the pattern on Friday. Ooh, good. That's always fun when they at least announce the pattern. I am a hard advocate for always announce bowling patterns before the tournament. I am very anti make it a guess because like if you have a lot of bowling balls, you have to bring more then, and then it fills up the center more. Where if you know, oh, it's a long pattern, then it's like, I'm leaving my urethane at home or something like that. Let's see. Where are we at? Max, we hit. Zach, contemplating on getting the Blackout to complement my Vibo. I would do that. I don't know if I could hit it with 2,500. I think it'll be a good compliment. But I think you need to keep the surface then at what it's at. If you shine it, it might be a little too much Vibo-like. Landon, I want a good spare ball. What do I get? Get a T-zone or a white dot. They're cheapest and best, in my opinion. Some people disagree and think the T-zones crack a lot. I haven't noticed that so far. Even if they do, they last for so long and they're so cheap that they actually are better than something like a Motive Sniper, where it's $200 before you drill it. Like, you could get 3 T-zones, 4 T-zones for that price. Hey, thank you, 60 feet. VSP, what's the best spare ball for a 2-handed bowler? T-zone or white dot? Ajax. High Road Pearl is my all-time favorite. Ordered a case of them before they switched to 4K fast. Oh, that's massive. That's huge. Nice job. I would recommend hitting your high road pearls with some power edge right now. Hey Don, what's going on? See you over there on the YouTube side. Let's see. I have no tissues here. I'll be back in 30 seconds, guys. I'm gonna leave the mic unmuted though, so you gotta hear me walk all the way around. And you get to hear my ankles crack. My ankles are so crackly, it's insane. And I didn't close my door. All right, we're good. Hopefully nobody broke anything while I was gone for 12 seconds. All right, Caden, debating on the Black Widow 3.0 or the Heckler. You're two-handed rev dominant. I would go Heckler then. I think the Heckler will be a little weaker than a Black Widow 3.0, which is going to be what you need. Let's see. Zach, thank you for the follow. Clunin, I can't believe you pronounced my name correctly. How else do people say it? Do they say Clownin? Wouldn't surprise me, but no, it's definitely Clunin. And thank you for the follow, man. Thank you. Cole, how do you throw the phase AI? Have I thrown it? Or how you thrown it? I do have it. So out of box, I really hated mine because it never hooked. It was just way too shiny. So I took the surface down and I got stupid with it where I tried putting 500 grit and then shining it, which I thought was a good idea. And it looks good on a lot of bowling balls. It looked fine, but I went back and put 2000 and then power edge on it. And then it looked much, much better. So it's one of my like medium sharp, like pinnacle balls. It's weaker than my Zen gold label right now, but it's also drilled much weaker. But it is stronger than like my IQ Ruby. So I really like it. Poop Goblin. Love the name, man. Any tips for playing better in the middle of the lane? Yes, make sure your angles are correct because you have to open your shoulders more. A lot of people tend to miss their spot left because they're not used to having to like actually project the ball to the right. So that's a good skill to learn. Ooh, 60 feet. What's your opinion on the Road Warrior and its job of replacing the HRP? Yeah, so I don't think it replaces it as well as I hoped it would. It's a little too strong to be a High Road Pearl replacement, but it's really like a High Road Pearl of 2024 is how I see it. So most bowling balls, you need to make them stronger because there's more oil on the lane. Where the High Road Pearl, if the original one was made right now, it would be way too weak. It'd be like a hustle, where the Road Warrior is like what the High Road Pearl was when it first released. So kudos to Storm for doing that, for making it like that. VSP, what's a good ball for a two-hander with not much speed? You're going to want to go like the hustle line or the raw line or the vibe line is going to be your play. And North Mage, I've got a lot of bowlers in my leagues liking the Ion Max better than the Attention Star. Your league must put out a little more oil then, but both balls are really good. Little spoiler on my top 5 of Strong and Smooth that came out on Sunday. My top 5 balls of the year for Strong and Smooth, I had the Ion Max on there, and I will have the Attention Star in my Strong and Sharp. And Max, thank you for the follow. Sparkles, how should I drill an Ion Max and Attention Star? I'm guessing you meant S2. You're two-handed. You're going to want to drill them a little bit weaker. So like, I would go a 4.5-inch pin on the Star. I'd go 4.5-inch pin on both. And then slightly lower val angles. Let's get over to the, we missed a lot on the YouTube side. YouTube, we will show you attention. I promise. We're back. We are back here. Hello, everybody. Larry, I believe. Oh, no, Jeff. Probably going to throw the Effect Tour. Yes, Effect Tour, if it's going to be a sport shot, is going to be a great first ball. That's what I'm planning on throwing. I have a Masters tournament on Sunday up in Minnesota. So I'm going to, no matter what they put out, it's going to be flat and stupid hard. So I'm expecting Effect Tour. Larry, I got a track stealth hybrid, and it's awesome until I have to move zones around third game. Rev dominant thinking a Pearl. Yeah, the hybrid does have a limit because it is so strong and it is still only a hybrid. So you will need a Pearl ball to go below it. Absolutely. And Don, we saw Manny, would the GB5 or the solid hazmat be good for his first game ball? Yes, those would be fantastic first game balls. And they're very, very similar. So it's really which one you like better. Bowling Fool, better hurry up on that Stealth Pearl. They are selling out quick and they are discontinued. So better pick it up fast. Denny, what's going on? What ball do you recommend for a noob with low speed and low rev? I would go with a starter ball like a Hustle X-Ray. Not really a starter ball. It is a really good ball yet. But I would go Hustle X-Ray. That's going to be a really good just beginner ball. Don, I found a white dot in the garbage. It is a great spare ball. We had a couple customers order them yesterday, and they're the perfect spare ball. They got the all white one. That one still looks so good. If I need to get a new spare ball, that would be the one I'd pick up. Bowling Fool, you personally love your Stealth Pearl. Everybody adores that ball. It's so cool to see. Don Black Widow 3.0 is awesome. I know we know Don and his Black Widow 3.0. He adores that thing. Don Physix Black, or sorry, Jaybird. What brand do you lean towards more? So right now, I'm really big on hammer specifically. I throw a lot of hammer bowling balls just in general. Like every tournament I go to, I seem to be throwing my like few hammer balls. But otherwise, it's Storm outside of that. I don't have many motive balls. Not really out of choice, just it's harder to get motive balls. And for a while, I was buying a lot of used pieces just to try out their reactions and see what I like. So if I need to go through a rebrand of my arsenal, I'd probably pick up a couple more motive pieces, but we'll see. John, Physix Blackout or Attention Star? Attention Star is going to hold it for now, but in different ways. The Physix Blackout isn't going to be that great on house shots unless you're speed dominant. Whereas the Attention Star is awesome on house shots. Where the Physix Blackout will be best on harder conditions or more oil. And Bowling Prodigy got to throw the new blue hammer last night. Only got to bowl one game, sadly. Bowled a 167 for a house that doesn't oil. Ooh, that ball doesn't do well when there's not much oil. That ball will be best when there's a lot of oil. Balrog, am I doing myself a disservice throwing 14? No, I don't think so. 14 is less, it's less bad than you would expect. The difference on the lanes is very similar to 15. Rev Challenge, look like you have some sort of ball storage or rack behind you. Any recommendations? Tired of tripping on too many balls on my floor? I actually had this one custom made. It is just it's just a bunch of wood and somebody carved like basically bowling cups on the bottoms of them. So they each fit like 12 bowling balls. But one option is I saw JR and Bowler X came together to make some storage racks. So if you get any storage racks, I would recommend plastic or metal to put your bowling balls on. I wouldn't recommend wood because wood absorbs oil out of the ball and that's what causes the ball to crack. So that would be my recommendation. They are hard to find though. You might have to find something custom, which is a little unfortunate. And Aaron, would the new Physix Blackout be a good pickup for Rev Dominant? I don't think so. I don't think it'll be the best for Rev Dominant unless you need a ball like a top of the bag ball. It is going to be the most hooking ball in your arsenal, which is hit or miss. If you need it, then great. If you don't, avoid it. All right, let's see. Where are we at? Horst, what's going on? Hoop Goblin, Sub-Zero Forge or Summit Ascent? What did you say earlier again, man? Oh, playing better in the middle of the lane. I would go Summit Ascent for that. If you're more speed dominant, go with the Sub-Zero. Max, do you like the idle line? I really do. I think the idle line is fantastic if you use it correctly. The idle core doesn't like a lot of angle. It likes playing straighter. So you always hit a point where it just isn't good anymore. But if you play it straighter, it's really, really good. So I like my optimum idle to just play straight. Like third arrow, once I get to third arrow, I get a little worried for it. And if I get to fourth arrow, it doesn't make the corner. Horst, I just woke up and your life's great. Hey, yeah. Oh, and I'm live. Life's great. Hey, love to see you here. Thanks for jumping in. 60 feet, loves his idle line. The original getting DC'd made me cry. That's fair. Clunin, do you have any honor scores? I do. I have a handful of 300s. I think 2 800s, if I remember right. But yeah, I have a handful of both. I think high series like 820 something, somewhere around there. Have a lot of had a few chances to get way over that, and then I just suck in game 3. So cheers to that. 550 after 2, and then I miss 800. That's fun. 60 feet. Dude, the effect tour makes me want to drool. It's so good. I've bowled 2 tournaments and 2 league nights, I think, since I drilled it. And it is the first ball I've thrown for both. It is the first ball I've thrown for each tournament for a couple games. And then it is also the first ball I bowled in league. Like, it's just always there. Kaisaki, how do I adjust when the right side gets too dry from throwing my pearl too much? You're going to want to keep moving left, Kaisaki. Just keep moving your feet left. More angle and you'll find oil. Yep, perfect. Yep, increase your angles. Perfect. Tate Crooks, what do you think of the Envy Overseas, the Envy Pearl? If that's one you're talking about, I actually have it coming next Monday. I ended up caving and buying one. I was looking for a while. I spent like 2 or 3 hours looking on Bowlers Mart and a couple other websites to see like what overseas ball do I want to pick up for Black Friday. And I was thinking like there was a cool attention star for 150 that looked like fun. There was some weird ones that I've never seen before from Storm that looked kind of cool, but I ended up just going the Envy Pearl. It was like 80 or 90 bucks. So I'm really excited to see what that thing looks like. BV27. I think the first company that targets a legit 14.5 pound ball towards the typical house ball could have high sales. Oh, towards the typical house bowler. Yeah, that'd be interesting because all 14 and 15 pound balls, they always change in weight. But yeah, that would be interesting to see. Horst, I bowled at 874. Oh my gosh. That's insane. Wow. Yeesh. Tate, I got one too from there also. Nice, perfect. Yeah, so I'm excited to see. Mine comes Monday. It was supposed to come Friday, and if it did, I was going to drill it up for this weekend, but it won't be here in time, so I'll be waiting on Monday. I'll probably drill it next Tuesday. I also have a Halo Pearl I should drill at some point. I've had one for like 4 years that I just haven't put holes into, and a Zen Asura from Black Friday last year. Hey, Gilberto Chavez, thank you for the follow. Quick reminder, we haven't done it in a while. We're already past the hour point. One, thank you guys all for hanging out. We have 22 people. We've had 668 people over on TikTok. Thank you all for hanging out. YouTube, we're at 45 viewers right now. Thank you guys all. 50 viewers, actually. Thank you all for hanging out for so long. Appreciate it. If I miss your comment, if I miss your question, make sure to just put it again and I will be able to answer it. Otherwise, make sure to drop a follow or subscription if you haven't. Helps me out a ton. You guys get notified when my videos go live. And then drop a like too if you haven't. That helps a bunch. But let's get back to all of the lovely comments. Let's see. Kaisaki, should I get a spare ball or a urethane? I already make spares with backup. If you're only bowling league, Kaisaki, I'd go urethane instead of a spare ball. I always recommend a spare ball, but if you don't bowl anything hard and you can just use backup ball, I just keep doing that. Gilberto, love the content. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Horace, the pattern was too easy. Apparently, man. Yeesh. Kaisaki, I have an attention star and a summit, but I'm thinking of getting a spare ball. It would be a lot more convenient. If you do need to know how to throw at it straight if you want to like progress up in bowling, like go to tournaments and things like that. But if you don't want to do that, then just throw backups. BWS, thank you for the follow too. All right, let's jump back over to the YouTube side. Spencer, Ocean Vibe or a Motive Thrill Pearl for League Night? I'd go Motive Thrill Pearl, Spencer. I'd try that. James, Bowler X has some. Bowler X, I didn't think had that great of Black Friday deals, which is a little disappointing. Tokyo, I got one. Oh, that's about the bowling racks. My bad. Tokyo, I got one of the 8-ball racks from Bowler X. It's awesome. Good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that thing's good. Surfboard Shack, is a Scorpion Strike a good burn ball? It is. It is a very good burn ball. Jaybird, for one hand, no thumb. How weak or strong should we drill a ball? I want to get the Pure Envy and the Summit Ascent. So if you're one hand, no thumb, in general, you're going to be pretty rev dominant. So you want to drill things a little bit weaker. And weaker for the pin to PAP distance would be 4.5 inches or more. So 4.5 to like 5.25 inches. That would be my recommendation. And then as for the other angles, those can be whatever you want them to be, but really that pin distance is going to be the important thing. You don't want that too low because if it's too low, the ball is going to hook too early and it's just not going to be good for you. All right, Jim Ward, with Bolero being sold, will this affect the PBA Tour? So Bolero was not sold. They just did a name change. They're going through a rebrand. So Bolero is actually bigger and better than ever right now. I'm hoping this means they put more money into the PBA Tour. Reading my comments on the last couple of videos about Bolero, people don't want to agree as much, but in general, Bolero was not sold. They're just branching out to more entertainment venues. See, Bowling Prodigy, how often do you clean your bowling balls? Because I work in a pro shop, the way I clean them is by resurfacing them. But I do wipe the oil off on every shot. So that's the best way, in my opinion, to clean them is just always be wiping the oil off the ball after every shot. Get a chamois. There is potential for us having ZVL bowling chamois coming soon. Thank you to DH Labs. I might have a couple coming soon that I want to show you guys and share with you guys. But I would recommend some kind of chamois to wipe the oil off on every shot. If you don't, the ball gets grimy and then you need to clean it more. And then I would recommend like every couple league nights, I would. And Jim, is the Effect Hammer Tour like the Envy Tour? It is. It is nearly identical. The Effect Tour is a little more, it pushes a little further down lane, is a little more angular than the Envy Tour. And Don, Lucky Strike Entertainment, which I didn't realize Lucky Strike was also a cigarette brand. I've never smoked, so I don't know cigarette brands that well, but yeah, that was interesting to hear. Let's see. Horace, back-to-back 300s, a nice little 24 bagger. Yeah, what was your strike string? What'd you end up getting to? Did you break like 30? Jaden, sorry my phone died, but should I get a phase 2? Yes, I think so. 60 feet, what's your opinion on Radical's perception versus reality? They're fine. They do a good, I respect that Radical is trying to get into social media, and then that's why they brought in Brunswick, who, by the way, is a marketing, he works at Brunswick, so he's not just like a, I don't want to say a regular content creator, but he's been working for Brunswick forever, so he is actually, that's why he's on those podcasts. He's not just like a me jumping onto those podcasts. He works with those guys all the time. He's one of their heads of marketing and things. So I like that they're jumping into social media. I really respect that. I think bowling needs to do it more. I think we need more social media pushes, and bowling is just too far behind the times. There's now more content creators getting into bowling, getting bigger, getting on staff with companies like Sarah Bowles, for example, got on staff with Brunswick now. That was a while ago, but that's awesome just because she has such a great following. There's a couple others like Lance Hill got on with Motive, so that's a great sign, but I like that they are trying to push into social media. I hope they don't say anything too dumb at times. Podcasts are tough because you can say a lot of really dumb things when you rant. Phil's video about them not being PBA certified was a little rough because he was bashing the PBA a little too much, in my opinion, as a head of a bowling company. But I really like that they're trying to get into the scene. That's awesome. That's great to see them do that. I hope there's more bowling podcasts that come out because of it, like more informational ones, because there just really aren't many. But yeah, they're fine. Let's see. Gilberto, I share all your review videos with my bowling friends. I'm an SPI guy, but the information you give is great. Hey, thank you, man. Yeah, that's my goal, is like, even if you don't like the brand I'm talking about, hopefully the content actually still helps. So you don't need to get the ball, but hopefully some of the things I say help you learn a little more about bowling. All right, let's see. Poop Goblin, when will be a good time to throw hybrid? So hybrid is really going to be either a solid ball or a pearl ball. So generally hybrid balls come shiny, so you'll want to throw that a little bit later. All right, let's see. Let's jump back over to YouTube quick. We have a couple things going on over there. Donovan, sorry I missed it. How does the Blackout look for two-handers? It looks okay. I think it hooks a little too early if you're really rev dominant. So then you need a lot of oil, or you need to play really far left. But if you're a two-hander who likes a very smooth ball reaction, this could really be a good option. The Blackout's going to be very smooth for you. So if you're willing to get further left and be smoother with it, that could be a good play. And playful. With the Envy Tour and the Effect Tour being so close, does it mean the Envy Tour is going to be discontinued? I would assume so. I would very much assume it will, but no word yet. Hammer just went through their giant discontinue list, so I don't think it will anytime soon. I would give it a couple more months before it would, but I think that would be next on the chopping block if sales are not good. But I feel like sales are still pretty good for it. All right, let's jump over to the TikTok side. We are at James De La Cruz. What are your thoughts on sanded pearls and polished solids? I love both. I need to sand a couple more pearls. I learned that this weekend, but polished solids I think are one of the best league or house shot bowling balls. My favorite league ball of all time is an Axiom with polish on it. It is by far and away my favorite, and I just actually got it out on Tuesday to play with a little bit. Thing is still awesome. It's 4 years old, still looks incredible. So I think they're really, really good because they give you a different look. Because sometimes the gap between solids and pearls is a little too big, where your pearls are just too long and your solids are just too early, where a sanded solid a polished solid or a sanded pearl gives you the reaction you need. And Jaden, I've actually bowled 3 one-handed 300 grams and 1 two-handed. Oh, save some for all of us, man. Jeez. Nice. That's awesome, though. Congrats. Dale and Bowles, what's your opinion on the new Physix ball? The new Physix is, I think it's going to be a really good, smoother bowling ball for a lot of people. So it has that really strong pearl cover because it is a pearl, although it is dull too. It comes out of the box dull. It's going to be more angular than something like an Ion Max. So if the Ion Max is too much for somebody, you could throw this ball instead. It is also more angular than an XL, but it is not as angular as like a Vibo or an Attention Star or the former DNA Coil, may it rest in peace. So I think it'll be a good in-between ball, kind of like the Attention Star S2. So I see the Physix Blackout as a stronger S2. So odd that they came out with the Physix Blackout right after the S2, but hopefully it goes well. Let's see. Horace, I bowled the 24 strikes and then got a split 7-10. Oof. Welcome back to reality. Dang, that sucks. 1500 grit. In what lane conditions did someone use a motive fatal venom? That you're going to want to use that on the burn, really, when the lanes are burnt up. That's going to be the best spot. And Brett, thank you for the follow. Horace, I was so happy with 24 strikes. Yeah, I would be too, man. I would not be upset with a 24 bagger. That doesn't sound like the worst time in the world. Like if I walked into the league one day and they're like, hey, you're going to throw a 24 bagger. If you like it or not, like, I guess I will. That's fine. Like, nah, I'd be okay with it. Let's see. Life with Ost. What do you think about the Raw Hammer Hybrid as a first ball? I think that's a good entry-level ball to try out. I really do. I'm a backup bowler and use the Venom Shock. What pearl ball should I choose? So you have a Hyper Venom if you want the same reaction, just in a pearl cover stock. Otherwise, the Primal Rage is a good ball if you want to stay with motive. If you want to go away from motive, you could go to something like a Scorpion Strike. You could go with a Road Warrior, things like that. Kaisaki, what lane conditions should someone use the motive Black Venom? That's going to be on the earlier. The earlier, the better for that ball because it is going to be very smooth. It does need a little bit of oil. Hey, Donovan, what's going on? Let's see. Zykri. For now, I have a Theorem Hybrid and a Raw Pink. Any suggestion for me to buy another ball? You could go in between those two with, like, I think a Scorpion Low Flare, since you're sticking with the Hammer or the Brunswick lines. I think a Scorpion Low Flare will be best, in my opinion, because that'll get you that in between a Theorem and a Raw Hammer look. Let's see, 60 feet. I remember being an SPI polished solid release. For what one? What one was that? I remember being an SPI. What ball were you talking about? 60 feet. Or still ended up bowling 274. 274 is kind of funny. I don't know how you did that. Like, I guess 8-1 if you got one pin on the split, and then like 8 bagger or something. It's a weird score. Like a 6 in the last ball or something. Tank, what's the best pearl on the market? I think the Scorpion Strike or the Attention Star. All right, Ronan, we'll hit you next. Let's jump over. We have a couple on the YouTube side. Let's see. Lewis, in regard to RG and diff, how much really makes a difference? So they do matter a lot. And for RG, so RG usually is around like between 2.46 and 2.58. If there's like a 0.02 difference, like if you have a 2.46 ball versus a 2.48, they're nearly identical. But if you have 2.46 versus 2.51, that's when there gets to be a big difference. So 0.05 is really like the number where you're going to notice a big difference. And then differential is usually between like 0.020 and 0.060. So anything from about 0.050 and above is going to play pretty similar. Anything below between 0.04 and 0.05 will play similar. And then anything below 0.04 will play similar. So that's a bigger range. Let me know if that answered your question or not. I feel like I kind of did, but kind of didn't. Cody, how does the Physix Blackout look for lefties? I think it'll be a really good lefty ball because it's so smooth. Lefties want more smooth bowling balls compared to angular. Let's see. Whiskey. Hey, what's going on, Whiskey? Well, I've never been this late before. That's what she said. Hey, all, what's going on, man? Warren, what are good pearl balls for 3 games or for 3-game? Bowl up second arrow. You need some length. Road Warrior might be a little too angular for you. IQ to a Ruby could be pretty good. Scorpion Strike is good. Max Thrill Pearl could be pretty good. There's a few options from different companies. Zepha. Sorry if this was answered. What do you think about the Vaporize versus the Attention Star? Both are incredible house shot bowling balls. The only difference I have between the two is the Vaporize is a little earlier. The downlane reaction is similar. The Vaporize, though, will be a bit earlier than the Attention Star. Aaron, as a rev dominant no thumb player with a Brunswick Vaporize, what ball would you recommend for the fresh? Rev dominant no thumb with a Vaporize. You're going to want like a Hazmat Solid or a GB5, something smooth and early. Don, I use my Motive Black Venom for transition. Really? I guess it is that weaker asymmetry, so I can see that. Lewis, yes, it does. Perfect. Jason, replacement for the Omega Crux. They're honestly, I think the Physix Blackout. And I'm not even trying to be like spammy of the new bowling ball or anything, but I think the Physix Blackout is going to be the best replacement because the Omega Crux was so unique. It was also a dull pearl ball that had a massive core and massive cover. So I think the Physix Blackout is the best Omega Crux replacement. All right, let's see. Let's jump back to TikTok. Where are we at? We hit Ronan. Oh, no, we didn't hit Ronan. If I'm rev dominant, could the optimum idle solid be the top of the bag? Yes, absolutely with surface. Horse, I just put strikes on the lane. Brett, what's a ball similar to the Phase 3? I would say the AI is going to be the closest. The Phase AI is going to be the closest Phase 3 replacement. Austin, does it make sense to have the Vibo and the Blackout? Yes, it does. They do fit in the same bag. The Physix Blackout is going to be much earlier and smoother. Zykri, my knee got hurt playing bowling. Oh, I'm really sorry for that, Zykri. That's not good. 60 feet. I was talking about the Hustle Ink and the Eternal Cell. Can't remember the last one that was out. Hustle Ink. Oh, the Hustle Ink, the GOAT. That was a shiny solid. Yeah, and then the Eternal Cell was definitely a dull pearl. Otherwise, like we mentioned, Omega Crux also. Bobby, thank you for the follow on TikTok. 60 feet. So keep the Physix out of box and polish the Vivo. Yep. IMO, in my opinion, I think it would overlap if you got the same surface on them. Woody, can you suggest a ball core for spinner? If you like the UFO spinner, like a lot of South Korean bowlers or Japanese bowlers do, not a lot, but a handful. It's more popular over there. Then you can just use a plastic ball and you're good. Life with Austin. Is it easy to get sponsorships from bowling? Depends what kind of sponsorship. If you're looking for like just in general, BowlerX offers sponsorships for basically nothing. Like you just have to fill out a form and they give you a sponsorship, but it's not really a true sponsorship because you don't really get free stuff. You do get discounts and a lot of cool perks, but it's not like getting asked by a company, right? The ways to get sponsored are you have to be really, really good, be putting up awesome scores, but also be social enough to be able to promote the bowling balls that you're throwing. Or social media helps, or being just the best in your area. Old school used to be that being a staffer, you just had to be one of the best bowlers in your area, and then you'd be given a contract. Because staffers or people who are sponsored, they are supposed to be marketers. They're basically marketing that company's products in whatever way possible. So if I was sponsored by like Brunswick, my goal would be selling Brunswick balls. That's why they would give me free stuff, is to promote the Brunswick balls and sell them. So that is the way to do it. You have to show that you can play that role, which is very tough to do. So there's a lot of different ways, but your goal is just sell as many bowling balls as possible and on staff. So having the skill set of that is really the way to get it, and having a few connections. The more connections you have, the better. Justin, speed dominant. You have a Black Widow 3.0 and a Scorpion Strike. I would go with a symmetrical solid ball. Something like a Scorpion Low Flare could work. Summit Ascent if you want to go a different brand. Venom Shock if you want to go a different brand. That could be really good. Those would be a couple choices. Ryan Zener. Last names are hard. Any good recommendations for something similar to the Road Warrior, but a different brand? Ooh. Ivory Rhino will be a little bit close. Otherwise, the Real Time from Ebonite. No, not really Real Time. Hammer Anger actually would be really close. The Hammer Anger is going to be the closest to it. Horse, I've got the best arsenal for my league. Ooh, do tell, man. Do tell. Q Lukes, any pointers on starting to move more left and hook the lane rather than throwing it up the gutter? So you're going to have to increase your rev rate or lower your speed are going to be the two best ways. So one of those two will be best. And Tim, thank you for the follow. Woody, I used my whole luck bowling yesterday. Got a 300. Nice. Congrats, man. That's awesome. It's not all luck. I did get your last name right. Perfect. And Kaisaki, after I get a spare ball, what ball should I get next? Rev Dominant two-hander. Yeah. Summit and the Attention Star. Summit Ascent and Attention Star. I would go with a weaker Pearl Ball like a Road Warrior. I think a Road Warrior would fit that pretty well. All right. Let's check out YouTube quick. Zephyr. I haven't thrown non-Brunswick, and I love the HK22, so I went with the Vaporize. Oh, good call. No, that's a good play. I think Vaporize is a good call. Then if you like the Brunswick brand stuff, stick with it. That's really with any bowling stuff. Like if you like the brand you're throwing and you haven't had problems, you could stick with it. Or if you want to branch out, you can too. Ralph, is there enough difference between the Strike and the Road Warrior to keep both? I think so. I think there's enough. They're going to be close, though. They're going to be pretty close. Yeah, they're going to be very close. Martin, how would the Optimum Idol Pearl complement the Phase 2? I saw it was $10 cheaper on Bowlers, Martin. That you said it would be longer and sharper than the AI. Yes, I think it still complements the Phase 2 very well. I think the Optimum Idol Pearl complements the Phase 2 a little bit better than the AI does. Whiskey, let's see. Can you explain why a rev dominant bowler would want a smooth and early ball on a house shot rather than a high RG ball? My thought being the later ball would prevent it from hooking early. You are correct. Absolutely. A higher RG ball will be smoother, but that means it'll go further down lane. But in general, higher RG balls usually are sharper. So having something earlier would cause it to hook a little earlier, but it'll cause it to be smoother. So that is the reason you'd want a smooth and early ball, just to limit that down lane angle. Don, I throw all three brands, so being a staffer would not be prudent. You can just fill out a form to be on CTD or Bowler X. Yes, it is just a form. I might have said Bowler X instead of CTD. That's my bad. I meant CTD for the staffer thing, not Bowler X. If I said that, I now forgot what I said. Ugh, whoopsie. Words are hard. Christopher, I'm back. I have both Max Thrills, but the two-piece construction of the Ivory Rhino intrigues me. So the two-piece is interesting because it usually means that the ball is going to hit the pins a little bit harder. But when something's two-piece, it doesn't mean the core can be as big. So that's why the Ivory Rhino is so weak and has such a little core. I think if you have you have the Max Thrills. The Rhino Pro will be much weaker than the Max Thrill Pearl. So I think you're okay on that front. And Bowling Fool, Columbia High Speed good. Yes, I think it is a pretty good ball. If it's on super discount, try it out. Bowling Prodigy, how close are the Blue Hammer and the Low Flare? Not very close. The Blue Hammer is going to be much smoother than the Low Flare. And Bowling Fool, I swear by the Rhino Ivory Pro. Yeah, that ball is good. That ball is very good. All right, let's check out Tik Tok quick. We have Horst. I've got a Phase 2, the Road, the Attention Star, and the Spare Ball. All right, look at you with your nice little rounded arsenal. Jonathan Medina. Tundra Fire. Yes, Tundra Fire and the Blue Fire are very good, and they were on sale on Bowler Smart. I don't know if they still are. Let me check quick. Track, Tundra. We'll go Blue Fire. They were like $110 or something. It was kind of crazy. 105 actually right now. It's still in stock. If you guys want a good weaker bowling ball, the Tundra Blue Fire is on sale for $105 on Bowler Smart right now. Kind of crazy. I have no affiliation, but tell them that I sent you. Tundra Fire, best ball ever made. Love that ball. Yeah, it is. It is a very good ball. It is a little overlooked in my opinion. 60 feet. You have not thrown Brunswick since Vandal and Mean Streak Beatdown. Wow, those are old bowling balls, and that was the bad times of Brunswick, in my opinion. Kaisaki, what about my friend? Rev dominant two-hander, Black Venom in phase 2. If they're rev dominant, he's going to want something shiny, Kaisaki. He's going to want something pearl, something like a Road Warrior, or a Max Throw Pearl, or a Scorpion Strike. Corp Cat, I'm a returning one-handed bowler. Thinking about snagging the S2 as your main ball. If you're just returning, you're probably one-hander, probably going to be a little more speed dominant. I think it's a good play. I think it'll be a good play. It'll hook a lot, so be ready for that. Noah, I got my second 200, and it was two-handed. Nice, congrats. Congrats. And Bodie, how do I pick up a new ball without throwing it first? How do I pick? That is what we're here for, Bodie. So we're here to try to help you guys make that choice because you really can't try out a bowling ball before you buy it, which sucks. So we're here to help you out with that decision. All right. Ethan, what do you think about using urethane as a spare ball? I think it's a fine choice. I know Woody says it's a bad choice. I recommend plastic more. A lot of people use it as their spare ball if they can't carry as many bowling balls. So then it's not the greatest, but I would rather have urethane than reactive, but I'd rather have plastic over everything. Plastic would be best. Horst, for me, the road is best. You are the one person in the world who says that, Horst. And Noah, I'm getting a low flare for Christmas. Amazing choice. My favorite ball right now. Kaisaki, would the Optimum Idol Pearl work, my friend, other than a Road Warrior? It would. It would still work. Yeah, an Optimum Idol Pearl would still be great. It is a big step up, like 60 feet says, from the Road Warrior, but right now it looks like they just need a Pearl ball, so yes. All right, let's see. Let's jump back over to YouTube. Dawson, what would you recommend to add to my 3-ball arsenal with my Phase 2 and IQ Ruby? Phase 2 IQ Ruby, I'd go with like a Phase AI, Optimum Idol Pearl, or actually I'd go Attention Star. Attention Star will be your best bet in there. Any of those stronger Pearl balls will be best. Christopher, thinking about getting the Ivory Rhino and drilling it strong? Yes. So when you have those weaker bowling balls, you are A-okay with drilling them stronger. They're so weak, they're never going to over flare. Like my Scorpion low flare, I have a 4-inch pin on. The thing never hooks too early. It just, the core is so tiny, so it's fine. Zepha, I've got to be one of the only people on Earth that the Phase 2 just doesn't line up with. You actually are not. There's a lot of people that the Phase 2 does not work with. Like, I love telling the story of a guy in my area, PBA regional champion. He has regional titles. I think 2 maybe. 1 or 2. He can't throw the Phase 2. He hates it. Never. He's drilled a bunch of them. They just never look good for him. So he doesn't like them. So you're not alone. Don't worry. I feel like I have absolutely no miss room. Righty two-hander, I would recommend shining it, polishing it a little bit, seeing how that feels. Jason, you have a Pure Envy, Absolute Power, Optimum Idol, Crimson Jackal, Optimum Idol Pearl, Phase AI, Envy Tour, 78U, Venom Shock. Anything missing? Let's see. You really don't have a shiny ball below the Optimum Idol Pearl, so like a Road Warrior would be your next bet. I really like that arsenal. I think you're good, but the next ball up would be that. And Bowler X, no 12 days. I don't know, Foggy. When did they do 12 days of Christmas in the past? Because they might have it later in December. I don't really know. But I hope they do it again. I'm not sure. They didn't have really any Black Friday sales either, which was disappointing. And Christopher, P2 doesn't move enough for me either. Yeah, trying out the Ion Pearl. The Ion Pearl will get further down lane and be sharper, so it could be a good choice for you. All right. Back over to TikTok. Bodie. What is a good Pearl ball that I can trust when the lanes start getting dry? So Ivory Rhino Pro that we've been mentioning is a good option. I don't think you mentioned what other balls you have right now. Yeah, so Ivory Rhino Pro is going to be a good option, or the Hustle M&M is another good option. A very weak ball that'll be good on the dry. Let's see. Nathan, what do you think of a good ball for two-handers? So it's very broad. There can be a lot of good two-hander balls. You're going to want to have something a little bit weaker. A little bit weaker of an option will be the right play. So hustles, vibes, things like that if you're a two-hander. I'm like switching between drinks right now. So you notice like water and then Mountain Dew. You might have noticed the Ghost that I've had sitting here for a while. Ghost, the blue raspberry. It is so sweet, but so good. Absolutely fantastic. Hey, Britt, thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. I have a lot of drinks open right now. Way too many. All right. We have 60 feet. I drilled my Hustle Chili strong as hell, and I love it more than my ink. Yeah, so the Hustles you can drill super strong, and they'll be a little bit better, in my opinion. They will actually hook more, which is great. James, how should I prepare for Team USA trials? Ooh, pick up your spares. A lot of spare practice is going to be step one because the patterns are hard. Where is USA trials this year? Let me check quick. Bowling 2025 Team USA trials. It is in Reno. Okay, so Reno has a little bit of hook. I love Reno, National Bowling Stadium. Perfect. So that's a good question. Step one would be look at the patterns they've put out the last couple years. Check out what patterns they've had out, and then really pick arsenals that are going to fit all of those patterns. They generally try to put a bunch out. They'll have a short pattern, medium, long. They'll have some in betweens. They'll have some that you can't play the gutter. So make sure one, you have urethane, some urethane-esque ball, because that looks really good in the NBS, is urethane. Up the gutter is pretty good in that building. Next one up is have a lot of stronger balls. Because they put out a ton of oil. They dump a lot of oil on the lane because of how much rev rate is out at Team USA trials. And then it's going to be a lot of spare practice. Those would be my top ones for right now. I don't know when they release the patterns, but just that's going to be the biggest one, is knowing what the patterns are and having options for all of it. That'd be my recommendations. Good luck, by the way. Good luck. Let's see. 60 feet. Troublemaker series is a great option, actually. Yeah, Troublemaker series is a really good option. Tim Hagen, will you be in the pro shop Saturday? I will not. We are not open Saturdays, unfortunately. Let's see. Markel or Mark. Probably Mark. Mark, either one. Where would the Urethane 78U fit in your arsenal? That will be just in a urethane slot. So it's really going to be... that really is going to be a weak, smooth type ball, but it's best early on and close to the gutter, because urethane is kind of in its own separate slot in our 6-ball arsenal system. So it is its own kind of piece. Let's see. One-handed bowler. Would the Radical Spy be good on short for rev dominant? It can be. Yes, it is a weird option, but it is it can work if you're very, very rev dominant. You have to play very straight with it, though. Hayden, what do you think of the new Motive Primal Evolution? I really like it. I really like it because the Primal Rage was one of the best balls Motive's ever produced. So I think it's a fantastic ball. It is a little pricey. It's at $200 retail right now, which is unfortunate because after drilling, you get in the 250s and 60s. But it is a really good ball in general. Let's see. James, I think they released them. Oh, it's only after. I hate that. I hate that they do that. Just release them before. It's okay if people practice on them. Once you get to a high enough portion of bowling, like practicing on a pattern doesn't help an insane amount, because you know what the pattern's going to do by just looking at it and knowing the building. So unless you're bowling on it in the building, it doesn't help that much. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with the Open Championships. Like knowing the pattern beforehand doesn't help anybody out that much. Like it's okay if people practice on it because nobody can mimic the lane surfaces that are out in wherever nationals is. So like, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. I could go on a rant about that. Pete, what are your thoughts on the Katana Strike? The Katana Strike was really underlooked. Like, it went under the table a lot because the Katana series is really good. And that one was strong, but they're strong, yet they finish from deeper, which is good. That's really, really good. So I think it's a good ball. And I know it's on sale right now too. Bodie, I need something that has a late break off. I would go Ivory Rhino, Bodie. Jaybird, you got to head out. Hey, thanks for hanging in, Jaybird. Appreciate that. James, thank you for the follow. Brian, they have such good deals on the strike right now. I have a clone and pitch black thinking about it. Ooh, not bad choices. Spencer, what's your favorite ball to use? So over the last couple tournaments and league nights, it's been the Effect Tour. Before that is either the Phase 2 or the Scorpion Low Flare are my two favorites. Fork bearded dad or bearded dad. What's the difference between urethane and plastic? So urethane is going to hook the least out of any bowling ball and it's going to hook the latest. Urethane or plastic, I meant plastic there. Urethane is going to hook the earliest, but be the smoothest. So urethane is going to be best when there's a lot of oil and you need to play straight. It's going to help you hit the pocket a lot. Plastic isn't really going to have a use on strike shots very often because it hooks so late and does not have much of a reaction when it does hook. It's going to be best for spares. And Jim, thank you for the follow. Ale, what do you think about the Arctic Vibe? I think the Arctic Vibe is the best low-end bowling ball on the market. You get a lot of hook out of that ball, and it's not very expensive. It's like $100. Jim, what do you think about the Pure Envy? The Pure Envy is one that also has gone under the radar a lot. It is a fantastic strong ball. If you need a top of the line ball or a top of the bag ball, the Pure Envy should be in discussions. It is really good. Britt, for someone who doesn't throw urethane but throws the IQ line, would the U78 be a good choice? I don't think so. I would avoid the 78 if I were you, unless you really need a urethane. If you need a urethane, I would go with something different. But if you like the IQ line, I'd stick with the IQ Tour. I'd stick with the IQ Tour Ruby, and I'd probably try an Ion Pro also. That'll be closer to an IQ, but the 78 isn't like an IQ at all. Hey, Forkbeard Dad, thank you for the follow. Woody, how about a tanker? Tanker. I don't, if you mean the Motive Tank series, those are good. I don't know a tanker though. Jim, what is better, Pure Envy or Effect? They're better in different situations. So the Pure Envy is going to be better if you want the ball to be hooking earlier. The Effect is going to be better a little bit later. Just a little bit later. Let's see. Michael, what's going on? What do you think about the Vaporize? Vaporize is one of the best shiny balls of the year. It is amazing. Really, really good shiny bowling ball. Should I get a Storm the code? Dax, what is the code? Storm the code. Oh, hey, that's a bowling ball. What is it? Is it available? Can you buy it? 250. Oh my God, that core is massive. What year did that come out? When did that release? It's gonna be the strongest ball in your bag by a landslide. It's gonna be the strongest ball you'll ever throw, probably. So it is a choice. Ale, is the Arctic Vibe a transition ball? I think it's transition. I think it's a transition ball, Ale. Sericopia. Sericopia? Looking to replace my X-ray. It's not working with my game. Is it not hooking enough? If it's not hooking enough, I'd go up to like a Summit Ascent. If it's hooking too much, I'd go to like a Hustle M&M or an IQ Ruby. Dax, it's a Japanese exclusive ball. It looks like it. That makes sense. That fits. All right, let's check out YouTube quick. Where are we at? Oh, Zephyr. Oh no, Dawn. I've been using my pitch black for spares in League. I only missed one spare this week, but it was me, not the ball. Oh, it's always the ball's fault, Dawn. Come on. Come on. You know better than that. It's not your fault. But that's awesome. Yeah, so urethanes can be a great option for League, absolutely. Zephyr, I'll try polishing up the Phase 2 and see if I like it better. I have a Black Widow 3.0, a Vaporize, an Arctic Vibe, but don't really have a benchmark. So it'd be nice to have polish. It'd be nice if the polish worked. Yeah, I would try it, and it should fit there pretty well. Larry, the Radical Spy is an awesome burn ball with a little bit of surface. True, you could put surface on it also. And Luke, which is the strongest symmetrical ball? You have an Optimum Idol right now. If you want something stronger than the Optimum Idol, go with a Sub-Zero Forge. But if you want just a strong Pearl symmetrical ball, go with a Sublime, which I will make a video of this very soon, but to warn you guys first, the Absolute Power and the Sublime have just been discontinued. So breaking news, very much breaking news. Those two balls have been discontinued. Okay, then we hit all of those. We will have a video on that soon though. Let's see. Kaisaki, could the summit be used for transition? Your summit ascent, yes, it definitely can be. Sarah, if it's not hooking enough. I'm always on the side. It just doesn't come off the dry spot enough. I would go with a stronger reactive ball then. So I'd go summit ascent. And Michael, I have a good arsenal, but like most, I want new. I respect that. I think that's fair. And the Vaporize is a fantastic choice. Oh, Kaiseki, it's only the regular. Oh, then it's not a transition bar. That is a fresh ball. Absolutely a fresh bowling ball. Let's see. Playful. Spare misses are 100% me. Definitely need to spend more practice. That's what I did yesterday for like 30 minutes. I missed a lot of makeables in the last 2 weeks. So I just practiced like why my spares are bad. And a lot of the time it's mental or it's just switching something physically on how you shoot your spares and then you're good to go again. It's really bowling yourself out of the funk. But on that, let's see. We are going to probably call it within the next couple minutes. So get your final questions in now. I will read whatever ones are left over, and then we're going to be calling it a night. So we're going to start with Zepha on these. Are there any resources for the common spare leave, like standing on 35, throwing at 32, or is it all just feel? So there are some good examples. There's two good strategies to use. I got to make a video on this at some point, but the best strategies to use is step one is know where to shoot your 10 pins if you're a righty. Shoot your corner pins. So you always want to be aiming for 20. You want 20 to be middle arrow to be the spot that you roll over. So that means your feet, like, it depends on your drift then. Like for me, I drift 12 boards. So I have my feet on 21 and I look at 20. It means I slide 33, but I'm still hitting 20 and then I get my spares. So knowing that is step one. Step two is knowing how to shoot other spares. So you can use the 3-6-9 system for that. That is something that I think they started at Wichita State a long time ago. So to hit a 6 pin, which is one spot to the left of the 10 pin, you move your feet 3 boards to the right, and then you hit your 6 pin. And then for the 3 pin, you move your feet 3 more boards to the right, and you hit your 3 pin. And then you do the same thing for 7 pins, 4 pins, and 2 pins. So that's my recommendation. Playful, thanks for doing what you do. Oh, absolutely, Playful. It's what I'm here for. Let's see, a couple final questions on TikTok. What is a similar shake to the Pink Venom but stronger? Primal Rage. Definitely the Primal Rage will fit that. If you want from a different company, Optimal Idol Pearl. Michael, you have a low flare, Envy Tour, Effect, Arctic Vibe, Theorem, Perfect Mindset. I love that arsenal, Michael. I really like that arsenal. Kaisaki, since I have a Pearl and a hybrid, should I prioritize getting a solid? I would, although you mentioned the Summit, and the Summit is more of a solid ball than a hybrid ball. So you already kind of have a solid ball in the Summit. And one hand, would the Stealth Hybrid be the same kind of shape? Yeah, a lot smoother. It's going to be a lot smoother than the Pink Venom, for sure. All right, but I think that's pretty much everything. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out today. Really appreciate it. Make sure to drop a follow if you haven't on both platforms. Follow or a subscription helps a bunch. We had 20 new followers on TikTok, and I can't see how many we had on YouTube, unfortunately, but we did get to 48 viewers right now. So thank you all out there. Really appreciate it. Love every single one of you. Videos coming this week. Tomorrow is our top 5 strong and sharp bowling balls of the year. So that's going to be a fun video to make. Then we have a couple other cool end of the year videos. At one point in these live streams, now that we are streaming on a computer, for both TikTok and YouTube, we are going to do a ranking of every single bowling ball for the year. So be ready for that. One's going to be really fun. I'm going to have a good time with that one. I have all 88 bowling balls that have been released this year on a list, so I just got to get that all ready. We'll do that very soon. So make sure to drop a follow if you haven't. It's really appreciated. Don, turkey soup or turkey sandwiches? Turkey sandwiches. Turkey soup. No, we don't do soup. I am very anti-soup, Don. I think soup is the dumbest food on the planet. Soup does not fill you. Soup is not really a meal. Soup is just an extra. It's more of a drink than a meal. And I will rant about that forever. I am not a soup guy. Like chili, a little better because there's substance, but in general, still not it. So that is my rant of the day. But thank you guys so much. That's going to be all I have for today. I will be ending the platforms a little bit off key. So apologies if I just stop like mid-sentence, but thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you all later. We're going to start on the YouTube side. Bye-bye, YouTube. Oh. What I meant to say is we're going out on both platforms because I forgot